Welcome to How to Deal with Toxic People. And by the way, this topic today was requested by one of our wonderful Facebook sisters. So if you have a topic you would like me to make a video, just let me know. And if it's aligned, I'm happy to do it. So let's dive in. Today, in today's video, we are specifically talking about toxic people who we cannot easily expel from our life, like our parents, maybe spouses, or very good friends. Because, yeah, sometimes the people that most challenge us are right in our family. And I know how difficult it is to try to hold your own power with somebody toxic. My mom, and you might have heard that before, my mom was an alcoholic. Bless her soul. She is already in spirit. And I remember very well, no matter what I did or said, no matter what I didn't do or didn't say, or how much I did, I couldn't win. I could never win because, and that's what usually happens in a toxic relationship. What usually happens is that you regularly find yourself in a double bind. If you do this, you betray yourself, or you don't do it and you act against your own truth. That's the first thing. You either act against your own truth, you do something for this other person, or you don't do it, and the result is you will be punished by this other person. So it's never a win situation for you. Either you please the other person or you will get punished, or you lose a little bit of yourself and have peace. So it's definitely not a win situation. And yeah, that punishment, of course, that can come in many different forms. You might get the silent treatment, or you might get yelled at, or, of course, even worse. And I'm very much aware that sometimes there's a lot at stake. So we're going to talk about these moments and these people that we cannot easily expel from our life. And just on a side note, yeah, having an alcoholic mom was my way how I learned to become a people pleaser. And I was definitely such a people pleaser in my earlier years. And I learned to focus on others, my mom, her needs, and definitely not on myself and my own needs. And when I hear that today, when I hear me say that, it's yikes. It's not healthy, absolutely not healthy. So what do we normally do when we deal with a toxic person? Normally, we try to communicate. We try to negotiate. We are going to share our deepest feelings with this other person. We're going to take our hearts, bring it to the plate in hopes that he or she will finally get it, will finally understand us and what's important to us, why we do something, or why something is important to us. But, and here's the big but, it rarely works with toxic people. It rarely works. And to have finally a little peace, I did that. I certainly did that. To have that little peace in my family, you might also decide to give this person what she wants or what he wants. In other words, we resign to do what this person wants us to do, even if it's against everything that we believe in, or even if it's totally against our own truth. But what happens if we do exactly that? in this moment when we try to get that little piece and we do what the other person wants us to do, we give away our power for the sake of peace. And we also, and I feel that's even the worst part, we give up a piece of ourselves. We give up a piece of who we are. When I say we get out of our own power, out of alignment with our own power, what I really want to say is we step out of our centeredness, we step out of who we really are. And I think you totally get it. When we step away from who we really are, from our own truth, we are completely powerless. We are in the most powerless place ever. What can we do? What can we do instead? How can we stay in our power even if we cannot get rid of this person in our life? Because this person is our mother or father, this person is our spouse, or this person is a very close friend, and you're going to see this person regularly. And I really want to make that clear. If you can elicit a toxic person from your life, that would always be my first option. Always. As I said, it's not always possible, but if you can do it, I suggest you do it. I read something very interesting lately. If we imagine our life to be a room that only has the capacity for a certain number of people, and we could only get in a certain amount of people and nobody could get out, who would you decide to let into this room where you are, where your life is? Certainly not a toxic person, right? So if you have the possibility to elicit this person from your life, go for it, do it. But we are talking about these relationships with toxic people where it's not that easy. And sometimes it isn't that easy. So how can you stop giving away your power around toxic people if you cannot just throw them out of your life? There's one thing you can do, and I think it's always the same in life. When we want to get something, we need to let go of something. When we want to get something new, we need to let go of something old, like getting a new story, letting go of an old story. So we have to be willing to let go of trying to have it all, because you cannot have it all. And I'm talking about something very specific here. What you can't have is you cannot please the other person and stay true to yourself. You can't have both. You cannot please the other person and be true to yourself. So you have to let go of trying to please the other person, of getting the other person's approval. That's the very thing you need to let go of. Accepting that you cannot have both and be willing to lose this toxic person's approval. And there's one way that makes it easier for you to let go of this approval from the other person. And that is, you need to stop seeing this person as the source of your well-being. Your physical well-being, your mental well-being, your financial well-being, your your main source of love, of companionship, of approval. And here's the thing why. This other person is not your source of all these things that I just mentioned. At least they are not the only source of all these things. We live, and you know that, we live in a very, very abundant universe. There are trillions of ways, endless ways the universe can provide financial abundance, physical well-being, mental well-being, companionship, love, approval. The universe knows infinite ways to provide all of that to you. But, and here's the thing, but to get access to this abundance of the universe, to get access to source itself, you need to be authentic. You need to be loyal to yourself, because that gets you back, right back in alignment with source, with all of the abundance of the universe. Staying true to yourself, being authentic, being in alignment with who you really are, your values, your truth, gets you in alignment with source itself. And I mean the big source that has access to everything that you will ever need. So I invite you to let go of the other person's approval. Be willing to lose it. Be willing to lose it and be loyal to yourself first and foremost. Do and say what feels aligned with who you are, with what your truth is. Tell your own truth, share it, and set boundaries, or begin to set boundaries that are aligned with who you are. That's your way to get back into your own power. And again, when you're aligned with your own power, it doesn't matter. It literally doesn't matter what somebody else does or doesn't do, what they say or don't say, what the consequences of you not obeying to them are. You are way more powerful because you are aligned with source itself. You have access to the whole abundance of the universe. And I know it really does take courage to be loyal to yourself. And it's something that you need to practice. It's a skill that we need to practice. But the good thing is, because it is a skill, you can learn it. You can learn it. Start slowly. And I also encourage you to not be harsh with yourself. Don't expect yourself to do it perfectly. Don't expect to be 100% in loyalty with yourself from the very beginning. Don't do that. It's not necessary. What is necessary is that you start setting those boundaries, that you start living in alignment, in truth, in loyalty with who you really are. It's literally the only way how to break a toxic relationship, because we cannot change somebody else. We can only change our own aspects in a relationship. And a toxic relationship, it's always this way. In a toxic relationship, there are always two people involved, the toxic person and you. So if you change how you respond to this person, and when I was talking about getting back into your own power, getting in alignment with who you are, what I'm really talking about is when you become another person, when you shift your identity from the person who obeyed, from the person who prioritized peace over your own truth, when you change that and begin to set boundaries, you become a different person. And that's enough to break this pattern, this toxic pattern. Of course, I have a question for you at the end of this video. First of all, feel free to tell us about your own experience around toxic people. If a toxic person or toxic people are in your life, feel free to share that with us, because that might already lift some of the challenges, the trouble and the burden that is on your shoulders. And then my question is, taking everything that I shared into consideration, are you willing to lose this other person's approval for your own sake? Are you willing to lose this other person's approval for your own sake, for your own life, for your own happiness, for your own power? Share it with us in the comments, and see you again next time. Bye.